They have read it.
Yes, sir, Chair.
And we just highlight
Yeah.
The silent issues. One of them, you have said there was a notice which was very short.
Yes.
People were not also, some of the people were not aware of that.
Yes, Chair.
What has happened.
Yes.
Then there was no, when you sought to ask questions, there was nobody willing to give you answers. Okay. So maybe finalize so that we can move on to...
Quickly, the third one is about public participation whenever there is a matter that needs to be addressed. In Gorogocho, that is hardly an issue. There's a norm of people assuming and doing things by pushing. So we never have any public forum where the public is involved in petition making to give opinions. Fourthly, the fate in terms of those people who were affected last year in eviction, about maybe to be compensated because actually that's their livelihood and where they stay. There's nothing, we have never seen any kind of indication or any kind of show up that such going to happen. People are languishing. Since then, many hundreds of them households are really in existing or living in very terrible kind of situations. And therefore, we really ask that the committee, the Senate Committee on Lands and the Senate to come intervene and see that to it that these kind of people are really given what is rightful over them. The last point maybe is about the same, that we have the kind of life people Korokocha are living. Actually, we have a problem in terms of the administration. Ngao, especially presented by the elders on the ground. We have a problem. People are really going through a lot and they have nobody can listen to them and able to come out at things that are addressed clearly. Then last but not least is we had a letter which we followed up after the last year demolitions, when the government declared that they were going to give out 10,000 to each and every family that had been demolished, had been evicted, to look for a place to settle. Thousands, millions of money ended up in wrong hands. The real people, victims, were never considered. Instead, those involved, they only wrote the names of their friend, colleagues, family, kins at home, and the money were being flushed into their funds wherever they are. So we are asking the accountability of that money and why the victims were not really given the rightful what is theirs. With those few remarks, maybe and the rest that are already written and submitted through the chair, honorable chair, and the committee, I therefore submit.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, while the meeting was on, I think we got the Senator for Nairobi and also a member of the committee, Senator for Trans Nzoia. Maybe you come on record before we allow the governor also to come on record.
Good morning, everyone. This is Senator Alan Chesang, Senator of Trans Nzoia County and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Welcome, Senator Chesang.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee, all of you who are present this morning. My name is Edwin Sifuna, Senator Nairobi. I'm a friend of the committee.
Thank you. Governor, maybe you introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chairman, senators and petitioners. My name is Sakaja Johnson, Governor of Nairobi. Chair, we spoke yesterday and I told you had an early engagement, that's why I came at 11. So thank you for your indulgence.
Thank you. And I thought you will occupy your former seat there.
In as much as I miss it, I don't see myself coming back to sit there.
Thank you. Welcome, Senator Beatrice. Now we are going to start with you, Governor. Your response to the petition. I think you can do it in 5 minutes.
Okay, Chair, we can start with the first one.
Yes.
On Korogosho. I'm here with my CC for Built Environment and Urban Planning, as well as my Chief Officer for Urban Planning. There is a long response that we've given. I'll have the CC go into the specific details, Chair. A lot of it talks about the issue of flooding of Nairobi River. Would you like me to go word for word, Chair?
Yes.
Word for word. Okay. Chair, our response to this petition is premised on the fact that while the Constitution of Kenya describes the state as a guarantor of fundamental rights, the same Constitution underscores sustainable development in Article 10(2)(d) and environmental protection as core principles of governance. We also premise our response on the county's statutory obligation to plan and control development in pursuit of public good within its jurisdiction, as outlined in the 4th schedule of the Constitution, in the County Government Act, Urban Areas and Cities Act, and the Physical Land Use Act of 2019. Chair, management of Nairobi Riparian Corridor attains urgency because physiographically, Nairobi is considered a hydrologically dense city whose drainage system is undergoing immense pressure and significant degradation. The immense pressure and significant degradation on the drainage system is attributable to interplay among several factors, such as unregulated development along riparian zones, rapid urban expansion, inadequate storm trunk infrastructure, solid waste pollution, and climate change-induced fluctuations in hydrological cycle. Cumulatively, these factors influence the quality and quantity of the stormwater runoff and potentially exacerbate flood risk. Anecdotal evidence describes the flooding as a recurrent urban phenomenon with notable incidences that imply intensifying frequency and potential loss recorded in years 2016, 2020, 2023, and 2024. The rate of flood incidents implies intensifying frequency and potential loss of livelihoods and property if unaddressed. On project rationale, allow us to draw your attention, and Chair, I recognize that you've brought different agencies. Let me draw your attention to April 2024 Cabinet Resolution, whereby the Cabinet, citing advice from National Meteorological Department, advised inhabitants living along riverbanks to relocate to higher grounds. The Cabinet resolution was taken in anticipation of enhanced rainfall and associated flood risk. And Chair, remember we lost around 42 lives during the floods in 2023 and 2024. By May 2024, Nairobi experienced enhanced rainfall as forecasted due to partial observance of relocation advice conveyed in the April 2024 resolution and impeded stormwater flow by human development. Widespread flooding occurred, leading to loss of life and property. Subsequently, the government of Kenya, the national government, paid compensation to some of the flood victims. Agriculture Act, PLUPA, on the need to discourage human activity from riparian corridors as a precondition for enabling the performance of ecological function. As earlier observed, it is likely that the immense pressure and significant degradation on the river drainage system will continue until multi-sectoral interventions are deployed, among which include land use planning. Specifically, several factors inform land use planning's logic of why riparian corridors constitute marginal areas unfit for human inhabitation. And Chair, it goes into details of the topography, the diseases, the characteristics that predisposes them as a breeding ground for vectors, and the high water table. Chair allows to confirm that Nairobi County's role in the project is limited to corridor land use planning and technical advice. The county government of Nairobi has not been involved in any forced displacement and any unlawful eviction. As I've said, Chair, apart from it being multi-sectoral, there was a KDF and the Ministry of Lands, together with the National Rivers, the Nairobi Rivers Regeneration Commission. The foregoing notwithstanding, our evaluation of the petition finds it inadequate in suggesting the implementation of the River Corridor Regeneration Initiative has resulted in forced displacement. On the contrary, we submit that the proof of displacement and lawful eviction can only manifest after considering three aspects. One, the outcome of ground survey, gazette notice by government, will appropriate property along Nairobi River and provision of ownership documents by petitioners. And I've attached quite a number of documents, including
notice of the nation by the Director of Physical Planning, the national government, the development plan, also our declaration of the special planning area. So all the way from 2013, Chair, if you look at the next document. Chair, on findings from site visit, you can confirm that with reference to the Nairobi River Corridor Regeneration Project, there has been no demolition undertaken in Korogosho settlement, nor has ground pegging commenced by date of this letter when we wrote it. Chair, the residents of Korogosho are very special to me because, Chair, I've been working with them very closely since I was in this house. Any inhumane eviction, Chair, is wrong, and let that go on record. It is not right because these are people with human rights. Chair, we lost so many lives. I was there along Madare River and Gong River and Nairobi River. If I'm not wrong, there are 42. If you were there physically on the ground when it happened, seeing people submerged, trying to use, even the boats that people are talking about to get across, children stuck. The law around riparian needs to be followed, Chair, because we must save lives. The issue of compensation that the petitioner has raised, I agree with, because the compensation must be fair. Remember, there are two categories of people. There are structure owners who had built actually on the wrong place, because if it's a riparian, it's a wrong place. And then there are tenants. And that is a process that I would support the Senate recommending, that it needs to be looked into, it needs to be audited. The 10,000, I think the gentleman was talking about, was it given to the right people that the national government was given? Was it given in a way, because I know the ACCs and the DCCs were taking like a census in the chiefs of who has actually been affected to get that compensation. And then further to that, they were being now put on a list to be the first beneficiaries of the associated housing that is going to come there. Chair, it will benefit this committee if the NRC does a presentation, the Rivers Commission, that was gazetted under the office of the Deputy President and then moved later to housing, on the entire plan of the regeneration of Nairobi River, the 27 kilometers, not just Korogosho, not just, the areas that form part of this petition, but all the way from Ondiri Swamp, all the way coming down to, where the petitioners are. It is good to understand that plan and that program because it is righting a serious historical injustice.
But Governor, I thought Nairobi City, there's Nairobi County is the chief planning authority.
Yes, there's the city plans.
On this, yes, and therefore any plan that has to be processed has to in a way, get through the office or the office of plan.
Yes, you're right.
Yes.
That is a plan. And what I'm saying is that the historical injustice starts from...
Come to your office. Come to the county.
The county is the one that gazetted a special planning area, but the eviction had happened before that and not by the county government.
Okay.
Chair,
following the flooding.
With your kind permission, Governor, the response that you've put on record, I have to say it's very disappointing because it does not respond to the petition. It absolutely does not speak to the questions in the petition. And Chair, with your permission, Governor, unless you think that I'm saying my own things.
No, I don't think that.
The petition, the petitioners are saying they have never been consulted. There has been no public participation. There is no representation in this project of the local people. Where in your response do you address any of those issues that have been raised by the people? Secondly, the things you are now speaking to are not part of your official response. They are not part of your official response. You are even telling us that you are giving us a situation as at the date of your letter, this response. That response is not even dated, Governor.
But Chair,
the response is not signed by anyone, So it is a bit frustrating for me, Chair, because we are not seeing the response engaging with the issues in the petition?
Chair, I can answer that. That's why I'm here. Me speaking here is part of my official response.
No.
Yes.
Governor, with due respect, you have been a member of this house. It's a house of record. You give an official response to the issues. Response to the issues in writing. That is why we send you the petition itself. And then now we can interrogate it. Chair, unless there is a different procedure.
There is a covering letter signed by the governor.
The one I'm looking at here.
This
from
one, which is supposed to accompany the response.
Chair, I signed the responses and I own them.
Yes.
The point that we're making, and I'll let my CC elucidate, is that the county government has not evicted people. So we can't answer about public participation in eviction that we have not done. The county government has not evicted.
So who is supposed to answer those questions? That's
why you invited three agencies. You invited the Rivers Commission, you invited the county government, and you invited the ministry. And that's why I've asked you to then move that to the Rivers Commission and the chairs here to be able to explain. And the multi-agency.
Yeah,
that's why we're different entities.
Governor, maybe on your part, were you consulted on the issues of the eviction, or they just hope people woke up one morning and bulldozers were ravaging and nobody knew about it?
Chair, with your permission, maybe the governor can put down all the questions we're asking, then they respond. Because if we do this back and forth, we're not going to move. But the problem that I have, personally as a senator of Nairobi, I don't even recognize this entity called Rivers Commission. It's unconstitutional. The people we know is the county government of Nairobi. And this issue of backpassing, we know the demolitions happened. The people just want answers. They don't want to be passed around to commissions that we don't even know their constitutional mandate. Who are these people?
Senator Sifuna, I think the Nairobi Rivers Commission has been gazetted, and unless maybe the court rules that it is unconstitutional, we go by the fact that
Chair, you are a lawyer.
It is an existing.
Chair, you are a lawyer. The rivers are a devolved function. How can you gazette something to deal with a devolved function and then you say the gazette is what makes them legal?
Yes. We can say they are currently as it is, because unless a court pronounces on that gazette notice, we have no power as a committee to declare the notice illegal.
This is why I was suggesting to you, Chair.
Of the courts.
This is what I was suggesting to you, that the primary responsibility to the people of Nairobi are the ones we elected, the county government of Nairobi. You yourself have put a question to them. They are the primary planning entity or authority. He has told you there is a plan. He has told us about plans to put up a boardwalk along the river. Let them be the ones to answer these questions. It's very unfair to send us to commissions that we don't even know where they come from.
The commission is here. They'll have an opportunity. Senator Newt.
Problem.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe following up on the issue raised by the Senator of Nairobi. Chair, I think it is squarely the mandate. It's squarely on the county government of Nairobi. If you look at the petition, there is, Chair, a notice dated 5th of March 2025 by the Nairobi City County. And this, Chair, referred to declaration of, I think, 30 meters beyond riparian as a special planning area by the county government. So, Chair, I think the governor, that squarely lies on the county government, so that then they tell us exactly what informed, Chair, the declaration of these 30 meters to make a total of 60 meters, because we have 30 meters riparian and 30 meters declared by the county government of Nairobi as a special planning area. So that, Chair, then the other issues raised as per eviction and as per, public participation, because riparian is different. But these 30 meters, I think the governor would do us good to tell us what informed it, and were the affected parties consulted through a public participation, and exactly what do you do with the rights of those that had settled there already. That is the county government. The county government cannot escape from that particular one. if it will, on the others. Thank you.
The county government does not wish to escape from anything. We're the planning authority. Yeah? Maybe I'll have my chief officer explain what a special planning area is. What that means. It doesn't mean eviction. It means controlled development. It's under the Physical Land Use Planning Act. You know, when you declare a special planning area, maybe you can explain that just for clarity. And then the issue of the commission exists and you're the ones who invited. So it's good to hear, you know, the work that they've been doing and what they intend to do.
Commission.
Yes, Chair, the provisions for declaration of an area as a special planning area is provided for within the Physical and Land Use Planning Act of 2019. And basically, when you declare an area as a special planning area, you recognize its uniqueness and being a special area in terms of development control, and the fact that you may give discretion to certain planning standards. In this case, this being an informal settlement, the process of preparation of a special plan for development control of this area would take into account the requests, the considerations, and what is prevailing within the area and captured during the public participation.
Yeah, Chair, maybe just a follow-up, because then after that area was declared a special planning area, the petitioners are saying the notice was given by the CC Nairobi County, and the notice was dated 6th March 2025, was communicated to the community after the 14-day notice expired, so they did not have their input. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, just before you go, Patrick Analo, I want to take you back before the notice itself, what the Constitution says. Forget the physical planning laws. There is a Constitution, Governor. A pronouncement such as the one contained in that notice is an implementation or a making of a public policy decision.
It covers a spatial area extending 60 meters beyond the high water, so it describes the area. Then it explains this declaration will enable preparation of the local physical development and land use plan. The plan will provide a framework for river regeneration, flood hazard mitigation, riparian land use and redevelopment of the land, including infrastructure development and construction of social and affordable housing and associated for the development of the special planning area. The multi-sectoral planning process taken by the Nairobi City County Government in collaboration with the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, Environmental Management Authority and other relevant stakeholders. A map detailing the designated area will be physically available at the office of the Chief Officer, who is next to me. The same will also be displayed at the precincts of the city government offices, all ward administration offices, including in Korogosho, as well as the Nairobi City County official website. And that was done. We hereby invite members of the public to submit their comments of this proposal in writing within 14 days through email address, which is provided there. You want to do. Now bring your comments at the sub-county office, at the ward admin's office, at City Hall, so that those can be considered. Chair, that was what this notice means. Different parts of the city, Chair, and I can illustrate, and I think you know, further evidence can be provided, have given different comments. You know, for instance, if you go from the Kileleshwa Lavington area, many of those homeowners have actually said, yes, we put our fence at the riparian because of security issues. But now that this program is being done, that we support, we are willing to move. Kangemi has a different issue, you know, because of the nature of land tenure. Historically, you know, it's ancestral land, you know, and so there are different issues that have been brought to the county for every different stage. So it is not just a declaration that we have decided it is a special blood. No, public participation is extremely important, but it follows a process that is laid down in the law and in PRUPA, Chair.
Now, the other limb of Senator Maruma's question
Yes.
The fact that the notice was given after the 14 days period had lapsed, so that people in Korogocho were not able to give their views on this issue.
Chair, that is not accurate.
When was it posted in the administrator's office in Korogocho?
Immediately that this was put up. It was actually posted throughout.
What's happening with my mic?
Yeah.
Governor, you have read out the notice. Where does it say that you go to your ward office? You have given an email address there. And if you look at section 6 of the Physical and Land Use Planning Act, you are given options because you know these areas.
But Chair, it is
just
here.
A minute.
What office is here in the notice?
That's a minute. Just a minute. You are given options.
Let's have it through the chair, please.
Yes, Chair. You are given options because you know these areas, they are unique. You've been told here. Where does it say you send your comments to the ward admin? Because the one I have says you are inviting members of public to submit their comments of this proposal in writing within 14 days through an email address that you have given there.
The second last paragraph says where these maps are available. The same will be displayed in the presence of the county government officers, all ward administration offices within the targeted sub-counties. We received comments at the ward offices.
That's what
maybe the notice didn't say give it there, but specifically. But that is how we received comments.
So,
Chair, we can share the comments, including videos of public participation. There was even a river festival that was done along the Madari River, where different generations spoke about how the river had been. All of that is available, Chair. We can share. The question is, was it adequate? Not was it done or not done. We could do more. You know, we can engage further. But to say that there was no public participation is not true. That is not true.
Yeah, so in the response, Governor, the written response, that is the material we are looking for. And because of the uniqueness of these areas and you know them, I would have thought that of all these options that have been given under Section 6, Section 4, including public hearings and group discussions, seminars, town hall meetings, public fora, those are the things you would have employed there on the ground so that you don't run into these problems that we are running into. And then secondly, Honorable Governor, you have to address the limb of the involvement of the community. This is something that has been raised at number 5 of, number 1 there of the petition itself, that the community residents have not been adequately represented in decision-making processes regarding the planning and eviction exercises. So in the decision-making, for instance, in this thing you're calling the Rivers Commission, is there a representation of the people along that corridor? Because
Yes.
me, I don't know them. Maybe you know them.
The mic, my system is not working.
Senator Beatrice.
Yeah, Chair, I've looked at the petition and I have no reason to fault the declaration of the special planning area because to me it's in the public interest, including the interests of the petitioners. I'm here seated waiting for the presentation by the Nairobi Rivers Commission. First, the governor said they did not evict. I'm waiting for that opportunity to reach at who evicted and then to look at the process of eviction, whether there was fairness, whether there was that intimidation, and we want to see the process by whoever did it. But in declaring this as a special planning area, for me, that is in the public interest. For the city to have declared that to take care of all those planning aspects.
But
so I'm saying, Chair, you need to listen to me, Chair.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm looking forward to listening to the whole team so that I find the right questions to put to who, including the River Commission that my SG says should not even be there, although we have invited them. But I'm looking forward to listening to them so that I make my questions very conclusive.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Senator.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti. Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti, unajua kuna mwenendo fulani ambao tunaona kama seneta. Sana sana wakati gavana kuna jambo fulani muhimu, jambo tamu kama national county inafanyika, utamwona gavana ameenda mwenyewe kufanya hiyo. Lakini wakati kuna sheria nyingi ambazo zinagandamiza, kitu ambayo viongozi wanaogopa, sana sana atasema utume kwa barua pepe kama hii tunaiona hapa. Ukiangalia kama yule mama ako pale, utangoja sana ukingoja atume malalamishi yake kwa barua pepe. Sasa na ukiangalia sana hata mpango wakati unafanywa bajeti, wakati kuna miradi ya maendeleo gavana inafanyika, utapata wakilishi wandi na wafanyikazi wa gatuzi zima la kaunti wako mashinani wakitangamana na wenyeji wakiongea moja kwa moja. Swali ni je, mbona hili ya wako enda kutangamana? Hiyo ni swali namba moja. Swali langu la pili, kwa sababu hapa kuna ushahidi ambao hautoshi kuonyesha kwamba ushiriki wa umma ulifanyika. Unaweza kutuletea ushahidi kwa muda kama wa siku saba zaidi kuonyesha kwamba ushiriki wa umma ulifanyika kwa njia inayofaa. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti.
Let's make progress on that issue, Governor.
Chair,
and we'll require maybe within 7 days to furnish us with the further evidence of
even tomorrow
public participation.
Even tomorrow, Chair.
Okay.
Chair.
You answer. There are 3 members who came in while we had started. Can you come on record, Senator Beatrice?
One of them, Senator Beatrice Ogola, member of this committee.
Thank you. Senator Maruma.
Senator Jones Maruma, Senator Taita Taveta. Welcome, Governor.
Thank you. Senator Nyam.
Senator Nyamu, Vice Chair for the committee.
Yes, Governor.
Chair, today Senator Maruma is not calling me the name he calls me. I'm wondering why. Chair, let me state some things unequivocally. Number one, the injustice that has been meted on the people of Nairobi is historical and colonial in nature. If you look at the 1928 master plan of this city, the colonialists took higher areas and moved what they called a green buffer zone, where the rivers are. The middle areas were given to Kenyans of Asian origin. That is the Parklands, the Hurlinghams, Kilimanis, etc. Which is why when there's a flood, who is affected? Kibera, Mathare, Mukuru. Because of that nature of how they put it, you never hear people, people have died in Muthaiga, or people have died in Parklands. There's a history that needs to be reversed. Because that narrative, remember Nairobi was named after the river. It's about the rivers. Nairobi River, Enkari Nairobi, Mathare River, Ngong River, all spanning 27 kilometers. Chair, we lost 42 people and more property. That is what displaced people from that corridor. People are not evicted. Once that displacement happened, the ACCs and DCCs ensured no one returns to those areas. It's good to understand what happened. Chair, please allow me.
Just a moment, Governor. You know you are contradicting your answers. Initially you said...
I've said there's no eviction.
The county was not involved in any eviction.
There was no eviction, it was displacement.
The eviction was done by somebody else. That's what you
So what happens, Chair, please listen to me.
Yes.
The prevention of people going back to that corridor is what you're calling eviction. Because it was secured. And it remains secured. If tomorrow somebody goes there and sets up a church or builds structures on the riparian, they will be removed. And that is happening through the multi-agency. Chair, we will not have more lives lost on these rivers in Nairobi. Whether it is because of public participation or because we feel we will not allow it. We must change that narrative.
Oh. Yes, Chair,
Chair, we will not allow people back to that corridor because it endangers their lives. And is what we must protect. Right now, Chair, we're constructing a 54-kilometer trunk sewer along Nairobi River, both sides, 1.8 meters by 2 meters, to secure sanitation for the next 50 years of Nairobi. Remember, these rivers, they confluence at Njiru. I'm at just past Dandora, where you have Dandora Falls, where the Mamao started in 1952. They all moved together to form Athi River to go towards Thwake Dam. Thwake has been provided for lower eastern, going to the coast. We don't want poison there, because that is what we're providing. So, Chair, the successive injustices from 1928 master plan, 1948 master plan, moving forward, and my planning chief officer can explain further, will not be repeated. If we can engage the people better, we will do it. If it means us, and we will share the evidence of what we did, including, we used art. Chair, in Madare, I'll give you an example. The older people were reminding young people how there used to be fish. And the people say there's no way they can be fish in this mark. And we engage them even in painting and showing photos. I remember growing up in this city, just down the road here, we used to fish, So, Chair, we will restore the river. We must do it in a humane way. It is in the best interest of this city and of this country, as I have explained, of Kitui, Machakos, and all of the other counties down the line, to have a clean Nairobi river and the other tributaries. Engaging the people better must be done. I agree. You can't expect everyone to send emails. That is true, Senator and Chair. That is why we posted them at the ward offices. If the ward office in Korogosho was not as engaging, that is something that we should look at. Chair, this period of discussion and public participation is not finite, because even the associated infrastructure that we're talking about, apart from the trunk sewers, the affordable housing, the linear markets, the walkway. Remember, I illustrated to you here, Chair, Nairobi is the only city where people hide the river. All the cities you've been to as senators, the river is the place you want to be. To restaurants, it is the frontage, whether it is the Thames River in London, whether it is the Danube, and all these cities. Chair, the plan that is there, that will be concluded on January 2027, because that is when it is going to be done. The contractors are on site. We will transform that narrative for our city. So, Chair, I would really benefit if your committee can tell us how we can then better engage the people, how it can be fair. There needs to be a feeling of fairness. The people downstream feel that they're the only ones who have been prevented from being next to the river, while the people now, upstream, in the more affluent areas, are being allowed to be close to the river. And I've explained, there must be fairness, whether it is Kilimani, Lavington, Kileleshwa, and that is easier. That is, even politically, it is easier, it is fewer people. So, Chair, where we've made omissions in terms of inadequate participation, I will admit, and we will do better. Where we've done it, I will provide evidence, but we are not moving back on the issue of sorting out that injustice on the rivers, or sorting out, the three rivers. Nairobi River and Madare has been contracted. We're now going to contract Ngong. Ngong River is the most polluted river in Africa. We're not proud of it, but it's been like that for many years. So we're grateful that the national government is working with us on it. We're very grateful, because the cost alone on the one river is 60 billion. You give us 20 billion a year. 60 billion is the cost for one of those lines for 27 kilometers.
Chair,
Chair, that is the
order. On a point of order, Chair.
We have to make progress.
Yeah, that is exactly what I wanted to say, Chair, that no one here is opposed to cleaning the rivers. Nobody is opposed to the river in Nairobi looking like the Thames.
Then let's hear the Nairobi.
But the governor has come close to admitting something that we want you to admit. Governor, we've been in this process with you before. I want to give you the example of our experience in the housing committee with your friends in Woodley.
Yes.
If you know that there are issues that are still not, ironed out with the residents, why don't we just accept that there is inadequacy somewhere? You will share with the committee. Chair, can the governor just switch off his mic for me?
Just listen to him, Governor. Let's listen to him.
We have been through similar processes, Governor, and when you sit there and you tell me that there are no inhumane evictions, you know you are lying. Because if, just a minute.
Why are you making it a dialogue between the two of you?
That's what I'm saying. Chairman, I'm speaking to you.
Yes.
When the governor says there are no inhumane evictions, and your committee is coming to Ngara, you'll also visit Woodley, you will see what is going on there. But as a county, as an entity, we can accept when there are shortcomings and shortfalls and say, we want to sit with the residents of Korogosho, as you did with the residents of Woodley, to restart that conversation and make sure that there is proper involvement and representation of their voices. The people you have spoken to, the ones who are upstream, I would think, Governor, those are the ones you ask to send emails. Because many of them are even, they have Wi-Fi and they're working. Just a minute. Let me just conclude.
No, Sifuna, we are running short of time because
Let me just conclude,
the chamber
Governor.
will be used in the afternoon.
This is a very, just one point.
Yeah, just
the people in places like Korogosho and Madare, those ones are the ones you set up a tent for public participation. You go to the ground. In Lavington and Parklands, if you give them an email address, I'm sure it will work for them. That is why if you look at that law that I've referred you to, there are various modes that you can employ depending on the situation on the ground. So I'm happy that he's saying if there are inadequacies, and I'm sure there are inadequacies. That's why that gentleman is here, Governor. Let us do right by our people. Nobody is opposed to cleaning the river.
Chair, also, allow me, and I don't want us to get into a back and forth. It's not good to characterize the people of Korogosho as those who cannot send emails. They can. But we can use more methods. You know, when you say only the Parklands and Lavington ones should send emails, and no, let's not characterize them.
I said the most effective way depends on the circumstances of the people.
There are more effective ways. Chair, we will show what has been done, and we will resolve those inadequacies. Chair, you know, you cannot.
No.
First of all, the consultations on this issue will never end. Not everyone will always agree 100%.
Somebody is evicted, he'll never be consulted again because he'll move away and maybe go back to
Chair, please let us remove the name eviction. The county has not evicted anybody.
Chair.
Then let's hear now the Nairobi rivers who have been accused of eviction. Senator, let's hear.
We need an opportunity as members to listen to all the groups. Some of us want to listen to all the groups so that we can make a way forward and have more informed opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to do our presentation. It's very unfortunate that in this Senate, my senator, a friend and a leader in this county, has called Nairobi Rivers Commission a thing illegal and whatsoever else. It's also very unfortunate that my governor, the governor of Nairobi County, is shifting his blame on us. So I would like to make it very clear what Nairobi Rivers Commission can do concerning this petition and what we cannot do. Probably I would call it as a way of advice, which I did in writing. I will not touch on the SPA, the special planning area, because the county governor is here and they have addressed themselves to that situation. So I will not address that matter. But I think where we are very lost and where we are not able to conclude is the issue of were there demolitions, were there evacuations, were there any people that were displaced? And that is a direct question for the Ministry of Interior. The PS Interior through Ngao. Ngao brings together the SCC, the DCCs, the chiefs. Even the petitioners who are here, our people from Korogosho know that the payment of the 10,000 was paid through the chief's office. And that cannot be concluded without the data from the chief's office over those who are paid in Korogosho and those who are not paid. And my advice to the petitioners would be that they also should make sure that their names were recorded. And I say that even in public meetings, that if you're one of the complainants or if you're one of the affected person, it is important to make sure that their names are recorded at the chief's office. Because if your name is not recorded, even your own chief will say he doesn't know you. But if your names are recorded and you are not paid, then truly you have a justifiable case. But that is through Interior, where we are dealing with Ngao, where we are dealing with the chiefs, where we are dealing with ACC and the DCCs. That I hope if we do involve the Ministry of Interior, we can resolve that matter. Now, going to other issues that our petitioners have addressed, this NRC have the capacity to call all the stakeholders. Apparently, that is
Yes.
On page 6 by the commission.
Yes.
Why don't they just go through the way they have addressed the issues? Then you can comment on them. Other than
It's okay, Chair, if you want us to read the whole
Yes.
document.
not
No,
the
no,
whole,
no, no, no.
from page 6.
Just highlight the,
From page
the salient,
6?
Yes.
Yeah, the salient issues.
Okay, let me go to page, yes, page 6. Yes, very good. So the following is the response by Nairobi Rivers Commission on the issues raised by the Korogosho Community Forum. Thank you, Chair. Let's note, now we are back to SPA there, does not give right to any evictions or displacements necessary for environmental protection and for allocations to the newly built social houses nearby. Let me just add there before I go to item 3 that the compensations, the allocations to the new houses can be done if there are any houses that are being built there. And now that brings in the Ministry of Lands, the Ministry of Housing. So you have to include interior, you have to include housing, and let us continue. Number 3, lack of representation in decision making. The provisions within section 52 and 53 of the Physical and Land Use Planning Act 2019 and the Physical and Land Use Planning Special Planning Area, that is the SPA, Regulations Legal Notice 249, of which respect to public participation will be implemented. Allow me to say this with all due respect to my governor, and this is important because I think it is a fact. If I'm wrong, he has my blessings to correct me. My thinking, and I think I'm right, I'm not 100% sure about this, is that even this matter of the SPA through the chair to our senator, I do not think that this SPA matter has been discussed in the county assembly. I think it has not been discussed. And I do believe at some point it will be tabled. And when it is tabled, it means that even the local leaders, all the MCAs will be included. And therefore, the MCA's voice will also be heard. And they are the local representation of all our communities at the grassroots. This is a decentralized government. And therefore, even the MCAs will have their say over the SPA. I can be corrected on that if I'm wrong, but I do not think that this matter has been tabled in the county assembly. I'm not sure about that. The County Executive Committee and the Special Planning Area team is in the process of preparing and establishing teams to carry out public participation process. In addition, the Nairobi Rivers Commission is in the process of finalizing its community engagement framework, which will guide the process of community engagement. We saw this loophole at an early stage, and so we decided drafting. We started drafting a community engagement framework. We have looked for donors because we actually don't have budgets to operate with. So we look for donors to work with us. We have sourced for donors who are willing to work with us to develop a community engagement framework, which will then guide this nation going forward. We just saw the loophole and decided we can fill in that gap. So once the framework is complete, then we have an answer. But before then, we need to act as leaders and find solutions from amongst ourselves. In conclusion, and in addition to all the above information, it is important to note that the planning mandate and custodian of the special planning area, that is the process and the implementation, falls under the Nairobi County government. The data and evacuation process is under the National Government and Administration Officers, NGAO, which is under the Interior Ministry. The implementation of the whole project, the 27 kilometers we are discussing here, is under the Department of Defense, that is DOD, who are the project managers. The Nairobi Rivers Commission mandate is coordination of all related MDAs and stakeholders. I don't know whether you want me to continue reading. I trust that I have addressed all your concerns. However, considering our mandate, I would
the Ngao and give them the directive. Because they had done the marking from the high level of the waters river, about 80 meters in. When they came, their houses were demolished. Because Korokoja, as it stands today, it's beaconed, it's surveyed. It's no longer a slum, as we speak. Now, people own those properties there and have documentations. Now, when they came, even during the demolitions, some of the beacons, most of them were pulled out without demolition. If we say it's not demolition, it's eviction. When we say displacement. Displacement is where if the rivers overfloods and it gets into houses. Korogocho in history, to date, Mr. Chair, we have had even a Nino time. Somebody can go back to that history and say whether there was any person in Korogocho who was carried away by flood. Never. Even the very last year, there was none. Apart from 2 gentlemen who jumped in the river, the flood, to rescue a 12-year-old child who was coming from the high side. And then unfortunately, the waters were beyond them, overwhelmed them, and they carried them to death. We are talking about a government that was supposed to have moved in to help these families, even a single kind of assistance. They were never given even look for their bodies. Today, they have not covered the bodies of their beloved ones. Then we go to that. When the intervention was done, the first demolition was done. The second day, it comes through Vaughan. They change people who were on the ground the first day. The second day, they come, the houses that were not within that bracket, they are demolished. Their eviction was done. Some even end up losing lives. Today, I have come with even one of the ladies, very old. She's there. This lady, the husband, because of shock, passed on and was sent off, married here in Galangata. She has nowhere to go. A quite number of them. So if you talk about families who are not evicted and evicted and talk about displacement, nobody is ready to go back to those pandemic spaces. Of course, we honor that. We want development, but to consider human.
Maybe you can understand. How was it done? Is it by bulldozers?
Yes, it was by bulldozers. I was down the ground.
And who did it?
Yes. We have on my, there's something I gave out. Just give me that, please.
What I gathered from the response from the governor and from the response from the Nairobi Rivers is that the eviction was done by the national government. Yeah. The DCC, the ACC, the chiefs, they were the ones who were undertaking the evictions.
But then, Mr. Chair, with the honor of this inspector, then the governor wouldn't have just said there was no eviction because it's all as the Ngao. Because
were displaced. So let's explore that because we are not making a decision today on the petition. Let's explore that and then we'll come back to that once we are able to see whether there's any progress or not before we make our final conclusion.
So my
I'll give you an opportunity to make your closing remarks, Governor, Senator. So I think let's explore that as because we are still yet to hear the national government and the Minister of Lands.
Yeah, okay.
So okay. We'll call you back when we invite the national government in Ngao together with the Minister of Lands. Okay. Senator Sifuna.
Yeah, Chair, first of all, let me just start by addressing the Nairobi Rivers Commission chairperson, who's my personal friend.
Yes.
Although she was my competitor in the elections, I consider her a friend. There is a reason why I have taken the position that I have taken about that commission, and it does nothing to do with the membership of the commission. I am one of those who call themselves a constitutional purist. Out of the roles that have been assigned to different government levels, under Schedule 4, the fourth schedule, yes, I believe that's the one. You will see there under 10 and 11 is the responsibility of county governments to do soil and water conservation, forestry, stormwater management systems in built-up areas, and water and sanitation services. My position is from a constitutional perspective. This is how I understand the schedule, that these rivers work is supposed to be done by county governments. And any entity that is at the national government level purporting to execute functions that have been reserved for the county governments is an illegal entity for me. That's the position that I have taken. It is a position the Senate has taken on some of these water agencies like Warma and the others who are interfering with functions that are clearly left or assigned to county governments. And that is why, just like I don't recognize Warma, I do not recognize this entity called Nairobi Rivers Commission. That's why I don't attend your meetings. But today we have found each other here. Let me just say that to your credit, you have done a better job in responding to the petition than the county government of Nairobi. You have gone step by step to address each of the issues, but here is the frustration, Chair. Number one, you have sent us to an entity called Ngao, which of course I don't know what to say about that. That is the first thing you have done. You've told us to ask these questions to Ngao. You are saying you will assess why the Korogocho Community Forum members are not included. You have not given us timelines, including you've told us you are looking for donors to help you develop an engagement framework. I mean, the engagement framework is there in the law. You just put up a tent and invite these members of the community to give you their views. So, Chair, for me, you would have to explain where you draw your mandate from the law, from the Constitution to the law. You have to tell me where you derive your mandate before you ask me to withdraw my comments or my position. But it is not personal. So, Chair, for me, the direction you have given is good. That in fact the people with the answers are not here, and it is even more damning, Governor, that we have the national government is overreaching, because this was your plan. It was a plan of the county government on what to do with that river corridor, and now we are being sent to the Ministry of Interior. So please, as a person who is sworn to defend county governments, counties and their governments, irrespective of whether I like the governor or not, on this particular one, we want the national government to get out of Nairobi River so that the residents of Korogosho can ask the people who they elected. And I want to confirm, Chair, there's something that the chair of the commission raised. The MCA for Korogosho was before this committee. And in fact, he himself also said that they have never been involved at that level. He was here, and the record can bear me witness. So I thank you, Chair, for the opportunity for these residents to address themselves to you, and please keep inviting them, and even next time invite the MCA himself so that he can shed more light. I thank you.
Senator Nyamu, brief.
Chair, as a member of the Nairobi delegation, as much as I want to speak for the people of Korogocho, I also appreciate the purpose of the special area, the special planning area, and I see the significance and the importance. So this one is a delicate balance for me, and I would like to ask the chair for the commission, who's also my friend, Margaret Wanjiru Bishop. I see the notices of the delegation 10th March, another 14th March, and 21st March. And I'm wondering, why are they so close? And first of all, to the 1st April meeting, and they are so close together. And do you consider 10 days to be sufficient and adequate to give to a vulnerable community? Is it sufficient time for them to respond, understand, mobilize, and take an announcement of the special area, yeah? And also, on that breath, what other, apart from the Gazette notices and the newspaper notices, what other channels of communications did you use to talk to the people of Korogocho, bearing in mind that the levels of illiteracy are not that high, and at the same time, they may not have access to these channels? Did you use alternative methods to reach to them? And then also I would like to ask the governor if he would consider halting further action until this committee concludes its investigations. And are you willing to commit to go with this committee to the ground to Korogocho so that we can ascertain where the truth lies from both sides. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe Senator Mariam.
Chair.
Take down the notes. Although that question.
Chair, thank you very much. Chair, when the petitioner presented this petition, they have 3 prayers, and out of the 3, one is very crucial, which is compensations. And when we hear from the CEO of the governor of Nairobi, he gave us a contradicting statement, which said the Korokochos, they are displaced by flood, but in the real sense, they were evicted. That's the reality. We have seen it, that one. And Chair, these guys who are petitioners, ni wanyonge, wako hapo. We need them to be compensated. And we realize for the presentation of both commissioner and the governor, they are washing hand. They are saying they have not evicted these people. So we as a committee, we must have a solution to these compensations to be done for these people, so that at least they must have their properties to be compensated of where, and also where they will settle as a resident of Nairobi. That is the key position of this thing. In the second one is public participation, which has been highlighted. We have seen it. And the third one is on the representation, community representative and the decision making. I think the commissioner has taken initiative that she has to involve the community on this scenario. So, Chair, we need the composition. My aim is the composition of this Wanyonge, so that at least as a committee, we have to dispense this one as rightful as possible. Thank you, Chair.
We have not finished hearing the petition, therefore, we are yet to reach there. Senator Beatrice.
Mine may not be a question, Chair, but all we are getting here is what we are faulting, what we may fault is the process, which we need to address, because the people that were, whether they were evicted, whether they were demolition, they must be done with a human face. And I think that can be addressed. Now, coming to Nairobi River Commission, you talk of your role being coordination. Me, it's not a question, but then how is it that your coordination is limited to others and not to the people, the petitioners? Because you needed then to have involved them for you to really fulfill that role of coordination. And then in your report, you seem to have met and continues to work with the riverine communities in Korogocho. Are the petitioners part of these communities or not? Or do you have limited people you work with? Then, for me, the report on number 3, you even give out what the County Executive Committee is going to do. And I find it a bit appealing whether that was within your mandate to report, because I thought that is for the county government. I thank you for coming, but Chair, we must attend to the process, but I want to go on record that the planning must go on and the Nairobi River, the project must go on. Come and look at Homa Bay County, what my governor has done with the lakefront.
Thank you,
that
Senator
is what
Beatrice.
we want.
You'll
Chair,
get time. Just a moment.
Chair,
We are
1
running short
minute.
of time,
Chair,
Senator.
1 minute. We cannot call these stakeholders and then come and look at them without giving our outputs. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Mrango.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti. Yangu itakuwa ni machache. Ya kwanza ni kwamba nimeona sana siku hizi kwamba vyombo vya serikali vinakumbuka shuka wakati kumekucha. Kumkumbuka mwavuli wakati wamenyeshewa. Watu walikuja Korogocho, wameishi wamezaana. Saa hii ndio wanaambiwa waondoke. kuna watoto ambao hawana hatia. Kabla hujavunja daraja ya mwananchi kama Korogosho, ni vizuri umfunze kuogelea. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti.
Yeah, just maybe the last one, Chair, for the
Senator Maruma.
To the Chair of the Nairobi River Commission, who is also a friend. I've never met her personally, but we used to meet on TV when she was saying she's experiencing the glory of God on earth. Yeah, she has indicated that the CEC and the Special Planning Area team are in the process of preparing and establishing teams to carry out public participation process. Is it true, Governor, that you're in that process? Because who told her that that's what you're doing? Yeah, she's indicating that the CEC and the Special Planning Area team is in the process of preparing and establishing teams to carry out the public participation process. How different will it be from the previous one? Maybe we need to confirm if what she's indicating is the correct position. But most importantly, whatever is being done should have compassion, and let's have these people evicted, whether by the floods or by the Ngao or any other person, get some justice.
Thank you. Maybe in 1 minute, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I really do sympathize with the petitioners. I was not invited for the Pumwani. I would have loved to be invited. However, I was invited for the Korogosho. I want to give my own experience. I'm one of the flood victims of 2024 April. Runda Estate was flooded in a very bad way. We lost properties, we lost people, we lost a lot of things. However, we have never found anybody even to be concerned with our problems and our experiences. If you really ask me, I think, like what Senator has just mentioned, about me saying CEC and the county government to reconsider the process of people participation, that is something that we all should reconsider. If there is a team in the Senate petitioning because they were left out, why should they be left out? It won't kill us to take another 14 days or whatever number of days, go to Korogosho, put a tent and talk to the people and listen to the people. It would cure the problem. However, the necessary government machinery and government agencies must be involved. I don't know what went wrong in Pumwani, but on behalf of all Nairobians, whatever the Senate will decide by the end of all these discussions, my prayer and my request would be that all Nairobians will be included. That we are not going just to say Korogosho or Pumwani, because the next petition you will see, like Governor said, it is Kangemi. Another one, Dagoretti South or Dagoretti North or somewhere else. Kangemi is in Westlands. So you will see so many petitions if we do not become inclusive. So my request and my prayer is that we shall be inclusive in whatever decision that is made. Regardless of who brought the petition, we should consider all Nairobians. The floods were all over Nairobi, and we should not leave anybody out. Having said that, on my end as NRC, I know that myself, the commissioners, our secretariat, the small team that we have, we will do our best to do what we can do. If we need to coordinate the entire machinery, the entire team to come together, all the stakeholders to come together, we will do that because that is our role. And thank you very much. Again, the glory is here. God bless you.
Thank you, Bishop. I can excuse the commission.
Chair, allow me to.
And the people of Korogocho.
I have not responded to them, Chair.
Yeah?
I have not responded. I was to give my responses.
Maybe I wanted you to respond with the other issues. Of,
no, Chair. Okay, but
yes.
I've been asked questions. I need to answer.
Maybe respond as the Nairobi Rivers Commission.
Chair, two things.
Yeah.
To be very quick. Number one, the history of this Rivers Commission.
Chair, when I was in this house, a group came to give me a presentation on what we can do on the river, especially from Westlands to the museum, 6.6 kilometers, you know. And it's something that they're from planning systems, and 2 of them are now commissioners. And Chair, when I thought about it, I remember immediately at the election, because you said it's something that we must implement, you know, even just the walkway. If you move from First Avenue Isili to Westlands, to Chiromo, it's just 6 kilometers. To Dagoretti, Naivasha Avenue is 10.6 kilometers. Yet, if you see Nairobians walking every day, you know, they walk like the vehicles. So that was where it started. When the election happened and the president-elect was William Samoei Ruto, I took this team to him. And he said, actually, let us form a commission. I understand what Senator Sifuna says is 100% true in terms of constitutionality. But I was being pragmatic. Because, Chair, and the Senate can help us, the limitation on county borrowing of 5% of revenue, even if we form that commission, we will not be able to fund its work, you know, or rather the work of river regeneration at 60 billion, you know. So pragmatically, I said, okay, you can set up, and the president then said, put it in my inaugural speech. If you listen to the president's inauguration speech, I put that paragraph of setting up a commission to sort out the rivers. So that is a history, but I was just being pragmatic because, Chair, with the kind of resources we get as a county, the EPC contract alone on one river is around 60 billion. Chair, and so that's a history. I agree, on paper, Senator, you're 100% correct. You know, you can question anybody who goes to challenge the constitutionality of this Rivers Commission. Will be told, in fact, the person who was supposed to gazette it was the county government of Nairobi. However, the deputy president then gazetted the former deputy president, and it started there. But being pragmatic is what needs to be done for this city. You know, you're pragmatic, and Bishop will tell you, you know, there's a question, was the law made for man or man made for the law? We want this work done. It must be done for posterity of this city. It must be done. It must be done with a better human face. I agree. And I commit myself to engage, you know, those who are evicted. Chair, when I was describing the issue of the flood, the severe evictions, it's along the entire, river. In Madari, it happened differently. In Korogosho, if I've given the wrong impression, I apologize. But actually, the houses were marked. That is true. And that was done by the national government. I must say that, you know. I will fight for the compensation myself. I will work with you hand in hand so that all of you get justice and compensation the way it was being done for those who got their 10,000, but we will not go back to the river. And I think on that one, we're on the same page. I hope so. Hatutarudi kwa mto. But lazima haki itendeke. Mpatiwe haki yenu kama watu wa Nairobi. Na mimi kama kiongozi wenu nitawaongoza kwa ofisi yoyote ambayo inafaa itoe hizo hela. If I will go with the senators, I'll be very happy because they have rights like everybody else. Chair, allow me to leave it at that. As the engagement continues, there was one question that was asked about the MCAs. Chair, the process of a special planning area is you gazette this intention. You receive comments. In fact, even the limitation is really neither here nor there. And then you create a local fiscal development plan and a spatial plan. That plan is what then is taken to the county assembly. That plan has not been concluded. When that plan is done, it will be taken to the assembly, and then the assembly must do public participation in each and every of the affected areas. From Ondiri, now once you come to Nairobi, until, Ruai, where there's a confluence of Madari, Ngong, and Nairobi River. So it's a continuous, it's not done, it's not cast in stone. But the affirmation and the intention, and the people actually agree. If we do this right, we'll have changed a lot for the people of Nairobi. So, Chair, I agree with you. Things can be done better. People can be communicated to in a better way. On our part, we will do it. But the justice that they deserve, must be given to them, Chair. Allow me to submit and leave it at that.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you. And Petitioner, we shall invite you again when we get Ngao to come. Sorry.
Just request, Chair, please, just 1 minute, kindly.
You know, we are running short of time.
Kindly, Chair, I want to go beyond that.
What is it that
you've just mentioned about the Ngao, and actually, as we speak, if we'll be leaving this place knowing when they have invaded, which is a problem. The Ngao is a problem.
We shall invite them. The way you said the governor was a problem. Now the governor
is here, so, and I'm also requesting him. Have a prayer.
Let's wait.
Chair, have a prayer for governor.
Yes.
That actually, governor, correspondence, please respond. Let people see you that office. It's a public office. Let's be closed out. When you come there, we are
so he will respond. So allow us to proceed. Yes, Karibu Sheikh.
Asante sana.
Governor, we are now into the second.
On to the second matter.
Yes, Pumwani, yes.
Let me appreciate, na itakuwa ni vizuri nitaongea kwa Kiswahili ndio wale nikuja nao waweze kuelewa, maana hiki kizungu chingi ndio kimetuletea shida katika utawala. Sisi tunasema haki ambayo ni number 1 ni barua ambayo tuliachiwa kama title deed sisi kama wanapumwani miaka 100 iliyopita. Na hii barua, wana governor, tunaona kuna watu ndani ya ofisi yako wanajua mpangilio vile umepanga, wanakuja mbele yako. Na sisi huku tunapigana governor atimize malengo, lakini kuna watu wako ndani. Mpaka imetulazimisha sisi kuanza kutaja watu majina. Jambo ambalo si vizuri sisi kulitaja, kwa sababu sisi ni wazaliwa wa ustaarabu. Watu ambao tunaheshimu wazee, tunaheshimu mila na desturi za watu. Lakini ikifika pale tunaandika barua zinazoruka mpaka kidogo, ni kuwa tumekosa mtu wa kutusikiza. Na sisi tunakushukuru ya kwamba umefika katika hiki kikao. Mheshimiwa, tuliweza kupatition ofisi yako tarehe 20 mwezi wa 8 2019. Na tuliweza kuitwa wakati huo. Tulipoitwa tukawa tumeahidiwa ya kwamba malalamishi yetu yatashughulikiwa vilivyo. Tumekaa tukaja kuitwa tarehe 7 mwezi wa 5, kikao ambacho kilikuwa kimepangiwa kufanyika tarehe 28 mwezi wa 5. Lakini hicho kikao kukawa na shida za maandamano, kukawa na mambo mengi, tukawa tumesema governor hawezi kupatikana.
Nitakupa mwongozo.
Yes.
Usende kwenye historia. Wewe tueleze.
Sisi ambayo tunataka tuambie kwamba hii title deed yetu ambayo muda wake sasa umepita na tulianza kabla haujapita ili tuweze kujibiwa.
Uliomba lizi.
Yeah.
Lizi yenu ilikuwa imeisha.
Ilikuwa inaenda kuisha kabla.
Inaenda kuisha.
Yeah.
Mkaomba iwe renewed. Iongezwe tena. Hamkupata jawabu.
Hajapata jawabu na tumefuata Land Commission. Na Land Commission wanasema ni county ndio wana shida, sisi hatuna shida. Na nyingine ambayo imefuata ni watu ambao wameinvest hiyo area, wanajenga majengo ya Kikomba ndani ya estate. Saa hii estate haijulikani. Ukimuuliza mkazi wa Nairobi atakwambia Kikomba. Sehemu kama Gorofani, sehemu kama Bondeni, sehemu kama majengo hazijulikani. Imekuwa ni Kikomba. Na hii Kikomba tunajua ni informal market. Kwa hiyo tunamuomba bwana governor hakikisha sisi haki yetu tunaipata, ya kwamba hii lizi yetu ni genuine. Na tulipata kuna watu walienda wakajiandikisha kama wenye manyumba. Sisi tunataka kumwambia Pumwani hakuna wenye manyumba as individual. Manyumba ilikuwa ni corrective. Na yule alikuwa ameteuliwa kama msimamizi katika kundi la watu 9 ndani ya hiyo nyumba moja. Lakini watu bila kufanya kikao chochote na sisi wakaenda wakabadilisha, ikawa wameappoint watu kama hao ndio landlord katika hiyo sehemu. Wakati kulikuwa na sheria ambayo inaitwa Yusuf Track. Hii Yusuf Track inasema unaweza tumia mapato unavyoweza, lakini ukubaliwi kuuza ama kununua. Sisi tunaona watu wanakuja na majina ya watu wasiowajua katika makao, wanasema wameuziwa. Wengine wanakuja na mariza ambazo niko nazo hapo, muda umeenda mwingi, ambazo huwezi ukaziona, wanasema tuliliziwa na county government. Wengine mpaka wamefikia kuwa na title deed. Imeleta vita nyingi sana huko kwetu, jambo ambalo alifurahishi. Tungemuomba governor vitu kama hizo asimamishwe, wale ambao wanajenga nyumba huko wasimamishwe mpaka haya mambo yawekwe kwenye meza na kusuruhishwa, kwa sababu tayari watu wazee wanaumia, wametupwa nje. Hata niliambia Senate ya kwamba watu wameenda kwenye Nairobi River, huko ndio wamejenga mabati, na watu ambao wananufaika na hizo mabati si watu wa hiyo sehemu.
Aya, asante. Asante. Nafikiri Governor, umesikia kilio cha watu wa Pumwani kwamba ardhi yao ambayo wamekuwa nayo since 1938 lease ilikuwa imekwisha, na kuna watu sasa wanadai kwamba hiyo ardhi ni yao na mmekataa ku renew lease yao. Maybe tukusikize kwa dakika 5 ndio tumalize.
Asante sana Chair. Na asante kwa Sheikh na team ya Pumwani Riadha. Tuangalie mambo mawili. Ya kwanza ni hiyo plot ya eka moja ambayo imeulizwa 2923781. Alafu pia kuna mambo ya the neighboring area ambao yenye chairman amegusia Sheikh. Lease ya mosque pamoja na maeneo mengi, kwa sababu hizo lease huisha pamoja, unajua at the same time in the area. Tuliandika kwa NLC about the renewal of that lease last year. Shida sasa imepatikana ambapo walisema watatufanyia reservation, ambapo we'd have preferred a title tuwapatie sublease na lease yao endelee. So ni kitu ambao tutatatua pamoja, kwa sababu lazima wapate haki yao na ardhi yao. Hata kubali mtu mwingine apate shamba hilo ya Pumwani Riadha. Ningefurahia kama maafisa wangu wangeleta barua ambayo iko na orodha yote ambayo iliandikwa kwa NLC, kwa sababu hii ardhi iko miongoni ya hapo. So najua kumekuwa na shida ya transition katika Land Commission, ambapo commissioners kazi yao inaenda kuisha. We want to fast track it to make sure they have it, because sio hao peke yao, ni ardhi nyingi sana ambazo ni ardhi za county. You know, the NLC manages the land on behalf of the county government. The county government does not produce titles, but we give the recommendation that yes, this has expired. People apply for extension of the lease or renewal of the lease, and we just give a recommendation that yes, this one we agree with. Alafu mambo hayo mengine nafikiri itakuwa wangu sana, Sheikh atakwambia. Na pia watu wa msikiti nimekuwa na washikilia wakati wa Ramadhani na pia wakati wa kwenda kule Mecca. I will come there myself with you, mnionyeshe pamoja na MCA wenu Petit na watu wa hapo ambao mnawajua Irungu, so to see this other story that is coming, because nimeona kuna majengo ambayo mengi ni unauthorized. Tumetoa notice juzi ya regularization of unauthorized development, because it is happening in many areas. Ili tuelewane ni nani hao, na kama ni watu ambao hawapaswi kuwa hapo, basi tuchukue sheria. Lakini kwa mambo ya dispute, hatujaona dispute yoyote ya mtu mwingine akidai that hiyo ardhi ya msikiti ni yao. Hiyo sijaona. So it's just a matter of processing the list. I think it's pretty straightforward. I don't know if the CC will add something.
Excuse Chairman, ningetaka nimweke straight kidogo. Kuna dispute ya msikiti na dispute ya community. Na sisi tuko kwenye dispute ya community. Na hii dispute ya community ina involve Christian and Muslim. Na tunajua upana wa ardhi yetu ni 121 acres. Na iko na mapping ya survey. Na any encroachment ya mtu yoyote ambaye ameingia ndani ya hiyo 121, si tunamuita huyo ni illegal.
Okay. Yeah, that is a different issue. That is an issue that 121 acres, you know, yes. The size of 121 acres. That is the entire, almost the entire, half the constituency, you know.
It's not, and, it cannot be half the constituency.
Sorry?
It cannot be half of the constituency.
It can. Nairobi is 696 square kilometers. Nairobi is very, in fact, you should be the last person. Mombasa is tiny. Chair, it is similar to the issue of Kibra, the Nubian community, you know, that got a title of around 200 and something acres. The acknowledgement of ownership does not mean that that area will only have Nubians. You know, you can't say that. because then Masais will kick out the rest of us.
Can I suggest maybe
this issue needs a larger inquiry, Chair?
Your response has not addressed that issue.
The 121, yes, because we were responding to the one.
Can we give you maybe 21 days?
Yeah.
Or 30 days, we'll go and sit down with the community and then come back with a response.
Yeah. Chair, you need that because I'll give you another example. You see, Kayole, the entire Kayole Umoja has one original title, where the county bought land from Kayole estates.
Yes.
But then the county later, you find entries where we have allocated different people in Umoja. Karen's parents even live there. You know how those subleases are done, you know. It doesn't mean that it is owned by one person. You know, so I think we can take more time on this inquiry. I submit check.
Nakubali governor.
Tupe nafasi tukalie zaidi.
Mkae chini mzungumze alafu mtatuletea report kabla ya kufanya maamuzi sisi kama kamati. Senator Sifuna.
Kuna mama pale
sema dada.
Mimi ningeomba kuuliza kwa niaba ya wakazi wa Pumwani. Pale ule mji umetoka Pangani. Walofika pale kama mradi uliokuwa toka California, Biafra imeingia na high rise. Na bado watu wa Pumwani wapo na kuna na wengine ambao wanazidi kuingia. Na kuna hao wanaokuja wananunua maplots. Nafikiri serikali ilikuwa imeconsider wenye ploti from Pangani na wapangaji. That is why kulikuwa na Biafra, California zikaingia wenye maploti, Biafra ziliingia wapangaji, imejengwa na high rise na kuna wapangaji wengine ambao bado wanabakia. Na majumba sasa hivi anakuja mtu ananunua ploti, anajenga, wale wanyonge walio pale wanaondolewa, wengine hawana pa kwenda. Ukweli ni kwamba hatuna, lakini tufanyeje? Twende wapi? Serikali itachukulia vipi ama itatuweka vipi? Manake yule mwenye ploti tayari kishachukua kitita chake amekitia mfukoni. Na huyu mpangaji anawekwa wapi? Kwa sababu yeye ni toka zama za Pangani, nyanyake alizaliwa Pumwani pale, mamake amekuwa pale na yeye yuko pale. Sio kwamba hataki kwenda maisha mazuri, angehama, na kuna wao walohama ambao waliruzukiwa wakapata. Huyu mnyonge anawekwa vipi? Anawekwa wapi katika serikali?
Sasa nasema dada, nasemaje? Majibu yalitoka kwa serikali ya kaunti ya Nairobi yazungumzia ekari moja ambao ni ile ya msikiti. Sisikia. Ardhi ambao mumeidai nyinyi ni eka 121. Kwa hivyo tumewapa nafasi hawa serikali ya kaunti. Wende wakakae na maofisa wao. Na hata nyinyi wawaalike. Sisikia. Mzungumze hili swala. Tutawapa tarehe nyingine ambao mtakuja muje mtupe jawabu. Sisikia. Hawa maswala yote ambao umeyataja muyazungumze huku. Ikiwa yatakosa ufumbuzi, mutayaleta hapa kwetu mbele na sisi tutafanya maamuzi. Tumeelewana?
Asante.
Haya.
Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti, unajua jambo ambalo sijaelewa mzee Sheikh. Hiyo barua ama petition yenu mmeleta mwaka gani?
Hapa tulileta
hapa si kwetu hapa kwa county government.
County government. Tulipeleka huko tarehe 20 mwezi wa 8 2019.
So unajua hiyo ndio inanipa wasiwasi kwa sababu governor
ikachelewesha mpaka ikabidi tuje Senate.
Ni kana kwamba tunasikia hii kesi kwa mara ya kwanza leo. Na mwaka 2019
wakati wa governor
ni miaka 6 imepita sasa. So inakuwaje hamjafanya vikao vyovyote na uongozi wote wa county miaka hii yote? Hamna.
Sawa, tuwape muda kwa sababu tumeshikika sasa.
Sisi tungeomba hata governor saa hii tuonane naye sisi kando.
Ana ofisi yake mtamwona. Hatuna wakati ndugu zangu. Ngojeni. Baada tumezungumza na dada.
Kuna kitu ningetaka kuwasilisha.
Tutakana tufunge hapo. Sema ya mwisho.
Tusimamishie wanunuzi first.
Watatufukuza.
Kuna watu watatu wananunua majengo mzima, watu watatu. Ni walifaulu maishani mwao. Tusimamishieni.
Ningetaka nione kama aliona hii baguzi.
Sawa, tutatoa mwongozo kwamba hakuna going forward. Lakini sasa nyinyi wenyewe ndio mnauza. Unasikia, wale wanaouza ni wananchi kama nyinyi. Unasikia, na sisi hatuwajui. Kama ingekuwa ni serikali ya county tungeweza kuambia kwa nyinyi msiuze. Lakini sasa wanauza ni nyinyi ambao hamuko hapa, wengine wenu hawako hapa. Kwa hivyo hatunajua tutawapata vipi tuweze kuwapa barua ya kusema kwamba wasiuze. Sasa madamu
wanakuja City Hall. Wana demand title deeds zinatoka City Hall.
Governor,
na kuna mtu binafsi anajiita anakujia hiyo.
Governor, we are directing that in the meantime there shall be no transactions on this 121 acres.
Chair, you can't. You know, 121 acres of land you're talking about is illegal Gorofani. You're talking about California, Majengo. The 121 acres. Look at your file. The title is to the county. That was Municipal Council of Nairobi in 1939. That title is what produces sub-leases. It's like saying no one should sell anything in Kayole and Umoja. What we can expedite, because this is a matter of history, you know, what we can expedite is the session of our officers, because if it happened in 2019, and I was here with you in 2019.
Yeah, but you know what we are saying is this.
Yeah.
As we consider this, yeah, if you give us the response within 30 days, you can have a moratorium on 30 days with no transactions being recorded on that parcel of land or that title.
Yes.
It's not asking for too much. I know it has been there for 2019. Maybe you should have resolved it when you were the Senate of Nairobi. Yeah, but now you are the governor.
There's a report from the county assembly. I'm seeing.
So let's agree.
Take some time.
Let's agree that there will be a moratorium on this title. No, maybe transfers or no purchases.
You can transfer that one title.
Yes. Yeah.
That title has already expired. What we're seeking.
Now, because the lease has expired. Yeah, the lease has expired. It has not been renewed. Yeah. So let's have a moratorium. No transactions.
In Isili and Pumwani.
Yes.
Majengo.
Yes, for 30 days until the lease is renewed.
Because how is it being done, Governor?
If the lease is expired.
How is it being done?
They're sub-leases.
Yeah,
yes, people are selling their sub-leases.
The sub-leases cannot be sold now
without your permission.
Because first of all, the original lease has expired. And the sub-lease flows from the lease.
Chair, I'll follow direction of the committee because